So the Civilization games are one of my very favorite franchise, right back from the very first one with the little covered wagon, iconic groups to the settlers of the later games, and with the Civilization, again, you're looking at population densities, but you're not micromanaging in the same way as with the Pharaoh games. Because you're creating a civilization which is a network of cities, and so you have different city managers and that you can balance, and then you're trying to balance off, building your city infrastructure to building your military to building your exploration and balancing the needs of the technology, and you get again the resource extraction and the economic trade value between cities and between different nations, and then you're balancing your nation group against other ones. And so I remember one early game I was quite surprised to have my ass thoroughly kicked by Gandhi before I even got to a second city. And then with the Civ 2, each game got progressively more intensive architecture, better graphics of course, and more complex gameplay and game management, and more complex ways to win, where you could have a military, cultural, or space race win. You can now in the other games also influence through culture and corporations and all those different more complexities that we have of a more global world. A big part of history is the ebb and flow between technologically disadvantaged towards population pressure, people spreading out, and that's a big part of migration too. Is and then to know, like with the Boxing Day 2004 earthquake that we had, like when I first heard from someone on a forum that the Earth had actually wobbled on their axis, I thought the person was being ridiculous, but it turned out to be true. And in any case, the ancient Minoan society, which may be the source of the Atlantis myth, was actually wiped out by a tsunami, and we figured that out by the debris patterns left in the modern era, which suddenly explained the patterns we saw in the ancient era. Much like we all know about Pompeii, but there was actually another volcanic eruption from an earlier century in the little village of Herculaneum, which is nearby. Same thing. So, so Sid Meier's Civilization is one of my favorite franchises, and as an anthropology buff, especially to be able to to scroll through the different major cultures, and also to get the game mods of people who have expanded the game, and through official expansions that added fantasy elements, but also the more cultures of the world, and to put them against each other when they were geographically and time-wise distant, and see how they compete. It's kind of like those fight shows, like the Jurassic fight or the warrior fight ones.